Hey, before we take it, fuck it, I don't even care. But if you want to
Yeah.
send in,
Yeah.
some letters, go
There
send
we
it to
go.
castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com.
Love it.
That's castlesuperbeastmail at
Love it.
gmail.com.
Love that. Um. All right. Let's see here. All right. A guy from Finland asks, "Dear fathers of Patrickson and Wooly Daughter."
Hey, what's up? That is kind of the naming convention. That's crazy
Accurate.
out there.
Longtime listener, first time questioner. Any favorite examples of questions that could have gone unanswered? For example, in Mass Effect, what do Quarians look like without a mask? No need to answer it. That's the one.
That's the one.
That's
you ruined your email in concept.
Yep. That's the
by
one.
picking the most perfect example.
Master Chief, etc., comes after that, but
anyone who wears a mask all the time should not take it off. You should get at best like a shot of them putting on the mask, like the Darth Vader shot where you see the back of his head's all fucked up, but then he puts the mask on.
And Samus doesn't apply because you could see her face from day one, but it was all pixelated and whatever, but that was always there, so she works. Anyone with a mask, 100%.
I think a huge proportion of mysteries that get answered in all fiction should just not be answered at all.
Yeah, but as time goes on, the urge is too strong to just fill in the gaps.
Here's the answer. And 90% of the time, the answer sucks.
I got one. How many loads did Heihachi drop in fertile young woman across the world? And Harada has answered that to say no fewer than 18.
You didn't need to answer that. You
well,
could have just been like, you got around. Just say you got around.
No. We know that there are at least 19.
That's weird.
Bastard children. Enough.
All right, you know what?
For the entire franchise to carry forward indefinitely.
All right, fuck it. Tekken 9. Let's go. Okay. Wooly, I'm going to go for a deep pull. Do you remember the Need for Speed series?
Okay.
You remember how Need for Speed did not feature Porsches for a while for some fucking reason? I think they were missing from 4.
Okay.
But then for Need for Speed 5, I think it was, they got the Porsche license, and then that game was all Porsches. And it was fucking stupid, right?
Tekken 9, Battle of the Bastards.
All Michimas, all of them.
Battle of the Bastards. Doria. Yep, totally. And I mean, the age ranges are massive and all the way across, but I'm sure there's a 4-year-old in there that's got a little bit of electricity.
Bro, how old's Heihachi? He's pretty fucking old, right?
Infinity, yeah.
Okay, so you know what? You want to do Heihachi Mishima is dead? Here comes Heihachi 2. Actually, he had this kid first before Kazuya. His hair balded in the same way. It's crazy. It's like the same guy.
Heihachi,
just a little younger.
Heihachi had a teenage pregnancy, right?
Wait, what? Heihachi had a teenage?
No. Like pregnant teens, like when that happens on whatever TV shows. So him and some other girl back in school, just that they got pregnant young, and so there's another Heihachi that's not that far from his age.
And he looks like he did in Tekken 3. He's that old.
Okay, there. Yep. Also, unanswered questions that got answered. Apparently, there's more than one ogre. There are ogres on every continent, actually. So, there's... Miarizo confirms that there is an ogre for every continent. Ogres all around.
Continents aren't even real.
Nah, the spirit knows where the lines are drawn. The spirit knows that Australia over there we consider it to be its own thing. And if
continents aren't even real, they're political designations.
And if Australia ever joined any other union, then that ogre would cease to be. There's many ogres. Here comes Miarizo. I just want my Aztec fighter, man. It's not that hard.
Apparently it's super hard. Apparently it's really hard.
It's crazy.
Aztec fighter has like the worst track record of almost any archetype ever.
Absolutely bad shit. They either job or they just never, or they can't show up again, or when they do, here you go. I mean,
Nikali got like Game of Thrones season ending memory hold. Like Nikali might as well be erased from history.
I'm not against, here's the thing, I'm not even against the waifu reboot characters, because hey, Aki's great, right? We love her. She's cool.
I would like to hold up my hand and only say that I am against Tekken's waifu reboot characters. Okay,
specifically, fair.
If you made a Tekken lady, that looked different, at all, then okay.
But also, with the asterisk, Aki is great because we had to deal with Fang. And
but Aki's also like super weird and unique.
And similarly, now I'm like, Rufus, let's go. Right?
I will never be there.
Nah, I'm like, you know what? You got a big fat guy, let's do it. I also like Bob. I think he's cool. The Sammo Hung type, you know.
I think Bob's way cooler than
Bob is way cooler as far as a fat fighter goes. But like, if you were to lean into that and bring that back now, it would be unique. It would be different. All this to say that an ogre for every continent, according to the UN, is not what anyone asked for.
Yeah, no, if you're going to reveal some secret piece of information, you have to kill it. You have to it has to be like solid, like rock solid. If it's anything other than like the best reveal ever, then just fucking let it be a mystery. What are the Reapers in fucking Mass Effect is just as bad as what a Quarian looks like. It's just as bad.
God, okay, Mass Effect as a whole is that issue, because all these amazing questions in part 1, and then I
answered them and it's boring.
Yeah. I mean, at least you never actually go to the fucking Volus planet, or the what do we call it? The Volus and the tall guys. What are they called again? The
Alcor.
The Alcor. At least you never go see it, and they don't fuck up that conversation, you know? But Jesus, like, I'm sure somewhere on the cutting room floor, the Alcor planet was like a potential scene that was removed.
You know what? I'm going to expand what I'm saying, and Mass Effect's a really good example. So when you don't know anything and things aren't well defined, your setting is infinite. And I think Mass Effect's a really incredible example of what happens when you just make decisions that artificially limit the types of places, things, and characters that can exist in your setting. Like, every single piece of information you learn in Mass Effect 2 and 3 violently limits the scope of the setting.
I want to clarify that when I'm talking about the Volus gas fart homeworld, etc., as a concept to go visit that place, now that I have completed that trilogy and know the limitations of what they were doing and how that would have been fucked up and probably sucked, I'd rather not go.
Yeah.
It would not have been good. It would have sucked. It's better.
Yeah, the Elcor homeworld could be the coolest place ever, but it'll never live up to the implication.
The conversation. Because now that we know that everything that they built up in the first game cannot be lived up to, I don't want to see it anymore. If they delivered on anything that was cool, if at all, then yes. But in concept, it's never going to match that conversation because nothing else did.
It's a really interesting situation because like there's a really old-fashioned entertainment adage that works really well for games and movies, which is make sure to leave them wanting more.
Yeah. I
like that's kind of the peak of it.
Yeah, you know, and like nothing is as cool as like the auto-completed details that your brain fills in the blanks with.
Yeah.
Man, it was so crazy to like come out the other end of this Mass Effect trilogy and then realize that like those exact points of like highlight that were so sick about the setting in the original were what everyone else kind of thought were the best parts too. And it's like it's almost like in Metal Gear when it was like coming out the other side of 4 and realizing that like, oh yeah, no, the boss is the best thing ever, and we all agreed, and that's why the lore got all fucked up. You know, same thing except in the opposite sense, because you can't possibly live up to what you set up there, you know. And whatever, writers and all the complications of schedules aside, you know.
I mean, Metal Gear is a really good example because you and I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours discussing parts of the plot, and then MGS4 came out. It was like, hey, guess what? Here's the answer to every question you had, and it's the same answer to every question you had, and it's wildly unsatisfying.
But Kojima was at the mantle for every one of those projects. At no point did some guest director step in and be like, I'm taking over and redirecting Kojima's vision here.
You know what? I have the ultimate. I have the absolute best example of questions that should not have been answered. I don't think anything will top this. I think that fucking Evangelion PS2 game should have not included all that fucking super detailed background on what the fucking angels are, on what the fucking black egg is, or any of that fucking shit, because none of that shit matters.
The ancient race.
None of that shit matters.
The ancient race and the moons and Adam and Eve.
Sucks.
Oh, the lore, that deep shit.
None of that shit matters.
My God,
to the story Ava is telling.
No one knows about that shit either. You got a wiki dive.
You and me fucking know about that.
You got a wiki dive hard. Yeah, okay. So the progenitor race and every detail of Ava, they're out there if you're willing to go scrape for it and find out exactly what angels
sucks,
and the impacts midichlorians,
like what the angels are, why they're here, why we're here, what the geofront is, all that shit. Fucking terrible. You, the viewer, are not supposed to know. Gendo's supposed to know, and Fuyutsuki's supposed to know, and maybe some of the Sele guys, but the context and perspective of Evangelion is that of characters who are cut out of the loop and not prepared to deal with it. It is actively harmful to that television show and movies narrative to know any of that shit.
But because it happens after the thing is done and exists in the form of this random fucking wiki dive, I kind of like, it doesn't feel like real. It's just information coming after, so you can just not care. Like, it doesn't bother me as much to have that expounded upon after the fact, you know, versus finding out about midichlorians midway through your prequel.
Burn the PS2 Dead Sea Scrolls if I had access to them.
I just, it's the method of delivery doesn't bother me, so I'm fine with it.
Oh no, it's not the method. I don't think that information should exist for you or I at all. I think the only thing it can do is hurt the story.
What do you think about when like there's liner notes for like a story that a director has in like an art book or something that like solve or explain something that was never shown?
I would put that along the lines of guy who wrote The Soprano accidentally spoiling the ending
David
in an
Chase,
interview.
yeah. because for example, we pretty much know exactly what went down with Nero the first time with that arm change moment, especially with the novels and all that other stuff. And then the whole body, and then the DT form in the art book that was never used from back then, etc.
Pretty obvious.
But if you're just going off what the game tells you, it's a couple lines and then it's dead, and then whatever. Who knows? Cutting room floor, you know? Yeah. There's just something about it where it's like, It comes afterwards in a fucking deep art book, thus I'm impervious to it. And I'm saying this as the person who went into the lore of the Patchy Slot Guilty Gear to find out about Soul and Sin's assault on the mages, you know what I mean? To find out about the true nature of Izuna and what happened truly the first time the man entered the backyard. Only if you play Overture can you find this information out. But who cares? Duel 1, let's rock. Volcanic Viper.
As I have gotten older, part of the thing that I've realized I've been doing is I've been focusing more on like the emotional through line of a story and its thematic core rather than, but how did that guy get there? Where'd that alien ship come from? And like at the end of the day, like a lot of that shit like doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I don't always hate it, but it just depends on how it's executed.
It depends on the type of setting.
Yeah. You know,
like
sometimes you can pull the camera back, go somewhere else, follow someone else during a thing, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. You know, what was going on over here, or what's the lore on that, and what's this, or, you know, whatever the case is. But then there's an extent to which you can exhaust that, and I'd say fucking Gundam UC, the 1 Year War, where it's like, okay, there are good 1 Year War stories, and there are bad ones, and then there are just so many that, like, you can do a Jack Bauer 24 style.
It was a big war,
but you have so many perspectives of what happened at this point because there's always one more story that took place during that year.
Did you know that the 1 Year War actually happened across a lot of places and there were a lot of fights? And do you know at the end of the day that there were some cool robots?
Also,
I don't know what else the rest of Gundam's trying to say, but I do know that there are some cool robots.
Also, 1 year is relative and space is large, therefore space and time can really mean that things can last. Anyway.
That's not true. The 1 year designation in almost every sci-fi universe is always one solar year.
From
or 1 Terran year or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want it. Yes. Well, UC, Universal Century, using the actual timeline.
Yeah.
In any case. Yeah, no. And then somewhere between those cool robots, we get a hot boy band, we get lesbians, and all kinds of other cool shit going on.
You know, do you remember the Batman film, The Dark Knight?
Mm-hmm.
Probably pretty well, because that was a pretty big movie, and I'm sure we both watched it a bunch of times.
Oh, multiple. It was great.
So when Joker's in the parade and Bruce Wayne is sneaking around through the fucking the apartment that has like the fake rifle in it, right? That he was only able to find by reconstructing the bullet and all that shit. And like there's a trap waiting for him, despite how could Joker have known that he was going to be there? Wouldn't it have been so much more interesting if we had a scene in which Joker explains his plan for how he knew Batman was going to show up to that apartment? Wouldn't that have been so much more interesting? Like, no, it wouldn't have. The way more interesting thing is like he didn't. He just assumed someone would find it.
So the ultimate version of that is, what if we followed Dio's point of view?
Oh yeah, I've seen animated videos of this.
Could you imagine? Like, I'm like all the way across from running down that staircase and replacing Polnareff to just
giggling on the way back up,
right? And then just twirling Poochie's hair. And then just hanging out in bed, and then, oh, okay, hold on. Time for me to run around and plant some beads, right? Okay, and now we got to grab some woman, and now we got
it's deeply unserious.
Dio's journal from day to day is absolutely cloud shoes. You know, but boy, oh boy, there's something deep inside of me that wants to see it. I want to know every day what life was like.
Big day out.
Dio's big day. Dio's big century. He's a busy man, and he fucks a lot. Yeah. You know, now I gotta go to Italy for a while. You know? At what point does he realize that he's with Jonathan's body, that, like, you know, he's still got he's got little Jonathan sperm with little Dio hair on it? Like, at what point does he realize that that you could use someone else's body to
It's the fucking gayest shit that's ever been. It's so fucking, like, I just like, oh, I'm using his body to impregnate people and create new men. Like, oh my fucking God, dude. Jesus fucking Christ.
If you want to ship Dio and Jonathan together, I mean, yeah, all right. No, that's, hey, Araki, you're doing it. They wrote a book about Dio, and there still isn't enough time to cover what the fuck he's up to from his point of view. All right, that'll do.
It's fucking so stupid that he lost. Like, every piece of information you add to Dio's, like, big day is like, what? You could have had like 1,000 stand users attack the Stardust Crusaders all at once.
I mean, he traveled the world strategically making stand users, and not only with the fucking arrow, but finding the natural born ones as well, and convincing them to join him, some by seed and by the bud, others with just charisma and sex.
And some were just like down with it right away.
Right away. Absolutely.
My whole horse was like, yeah, sure, fuck it.
You know, while, again, planting seeds, while knocking people up, just worldwide, all day, every day, nonstop, and still having time to pose when the fly is next to him, and he's, you know, still has time.
All right,
when the Joestars need him.
All right, I don't listen, Poochie. I know we got to twirl hairs, and I got all these people to impregnate and Bud and all that, but Polnareff's almost back up to the top of the staircase. Can you give me 5 seconds? Okay, I need to put him over my shoulder. And it is my favorite part about this. This is my favorite part. It's a really long staircase, so he has to do the whole staircase in 2.5 seconds.
All the way.
Like, he has to be sprinting his shit off
because he doesn't have 9 seconds yet.
Back up there and be like,
yeah,
pose.
He doesn't have 9 seconds yet. He's got to resume. He's got to mark an X and know exactly where to return to. 1,000,000%. You know, he's got to put fucking minions' heads on dogs to make sure that they could bark and talk and yap
in 5 seconds.
You know?
Like, really fast. Like, he's sweating. He's like he's waiting at tables and a party of 20 just came in. Energy.
It's the best. It's the fucking best. All right. That'll do.